My name is Ajit Singh Raina, and today I am here to talk about RedisEdge implementation along with Redis Data Source plugin for Grafana. RedisEdge is a purpose-built multimodal database, and it can ingest around millions of write per second, and it comes with a promise saying less than 1 millisecond latency and definitely a small footprint. The advantage of RedisEdge is it basically works on variety of the edge devices and sensors. It basically bundles three important components here. One is open source Redis, streams, and modules. And you can see in this particular diagram where RedisEdge is a bundled software which consists of Redis open source, streams, as well as modules such as Redis time series, Redis AI, and Redis gears. This is how the dashboard look like, the Grafana dashboard look like, which consists of Redis data source plugin, which means that now you can import a Redis data source directly into the Grafana dashboard, and you can see all the details which is coming out of the Redis. Even you can run CLI out of it. This is the operation pipeline, and it consists of all the components, how they behave and how the whole pipeline look like. Input video is a component which talks about the video frames which you get it from the IoT device. So think of it as like a Raspberry Pi or IoT device which is connected to the camera module. Camera module brings the images to it. XAADD is basically a data structure which is used for Redis streams. So once the camera module sees the streams, it triggers the Redis gears, and then Redis gears uses Redis AI stored tensors to basically go ahead and detect the object. Once it detects the object, it say, for example, for in this demo we show like how many people appear on the video, or the video which is being fetched through a camera module from a Raspberry Pi, and then it will basically store those number of people, the count, right, the count of the number of people into the Redis time series, and that can be displayed over the Grafana. The whole implementation uses just one single Docker Compose file. Let me show you that file here. So let me open a window here. So I have this particular demo which I showcased in the last OSS days. So let me get into the Docker Compose. Okay, so I have a Docker Compose which is on the root of this particular repo. If you see here, we have multiple services: init, server, capture. Now the initialization and then the capturing of this particular video, right? So what I'm trying to do is there are multiple ways to capture the video, either from the webcam or if you want it from a file. So for this demo I will be picking up walking.mp4 file, okay, video file, which will be which is kind of a video file which will be ingested into a Redis stream, okay. And then we have an optional component called Prometheus. Since we have Redis time series, so we might not require this, right? And then we under the Grafana I have picked up my own compiled Grafana image, Docker image, which contains 7.1 version. So do remember that Redis data source for Grafana is supported starting from Grafana 7.1 release. If you are using 6, then it might not work, okay. And then you need to pass on the environmental variable here to basically import those Redis data source for Grafana. So let me go ahead and quickly build up this YAML file. So I will pass -- build command here. Let me authenticate myself. So once I do this, it will go ahead and build all those services: init, server, and capture first, and then it will bring up Prometheus, and then Grafana. RedisEdge is a Docker image which has all Redis OSs plus streams plus modules embedded. So Redis time series comes along with this particular image. Now if you see here, it has started running on port 5000. The video file get displayed here, and then this is one which is really important, the Grafana, the Redis data source for Grafana. So the Grafana runs on port 3000, and this is basically the initialization of the Redis data source. So it means that it has already installed it. Let me quickly go to the browser, and then let me specify. So this is an IP address where it should be running. So my Grafana dashboard is up and running here. I can click on home, and if you see all those the dashboard has everything which is important. Since I am running it for the second time, so you see all those components has been imported already. So the first, you need to click on video stream analytics, and once you click this, you will see this video, right? And this video is getting displayed here. Let me show you. As we see in port 5000 and video, so you will see this video is displaying here. So I will just close this. It has started counting number of people. So the first count is, this is basically a unique, and this is for non-unique. So since we have one person who has been moving, and the video person is moving just behind it, so we see the count as 1. Whereas if you want to see the total count, let me go ahead and increase the time, last 15 minutes or something like that, and you will soon see the number of count here. You get information about frame latency as well as frame per second. You can see here how the input, the drop rate, and all these things information get displayed. So let me put it as last 5 minutes. So slowly you will see the information coming up based on your speed, right? The other thing which you can go ahead and you can look into it is Redis CLI. So let me get into data source. So if you see here, you have a different data sources here, even Redis data source. So let me change this IP 43.160. 43.160. This is where your Redis server is running, right? And I will say save and test. I'll go to the dashboard, and I can import it. Let me see the other factor 2 here, Redis 1. I will change the IP address here to, since I'm having different interfaces, so that is the reason you have to specify the correct one, but I should be able to do this. So data source is working, and you should be able to see, you should be able to import it. Okay, it shows that it has already imported, so we really don't need to worry about it. So let me get into the home stream here. If you see here, there are in last 1 minute we have around 168 people who it has recognized. At the same time, I can get into a Redis application here, home, and even a CLI portion. So it is going to take time here. So we have a version 5.05 and uptime is 4 minutes, because that is when we started here. I can run all these commands here. If you see, even if I say info, it will give me all the information about the CPU and all these things, right? Other than that, I can also go ahead and I have a time series based commands also. If you see here, ts.info, and I can go ahead and run such commands which should fetch me the last timestamp. And this is coming from, let me show you here, Redis overview, discard, and this shows you about especially all the information, ops per second, number of keys, what is an uptime, and especially you can also see the slow queries log here. So this is a stream. The X-side is a data structure per stream, so it shows like at this point of time we have just one camera which is referred as a camera 0, so that's why it is showing here. But you get all this information, the client connection and all these things. So Redis data source for time series is really cool. uh, Redis data store for Grafana is really cool, and you should check it out. It's very easy to set up. If you really want to see the page, let me show you. You can click on data sources and then go to the plugin, the type Redis here, and this is where you can see the readme file. It gives you all the information about Redis application plugin, how it looks like, and how you how to build this application. This is CLI part which I have shown you earlier, and if you really want to get started with it, you can install using Grafana CLI too, if you want to do it manually. But since we are using Docker containers, so this is what we have included under Docker Compose file. Okay, thank you so much. If you have any other query, do reach out to me. You will find all the details in the description in the YouTube channel. So thank you so much for joining me today.